The Disney Renaissance is home to some of the best animated movies of all time. It started at The Little Mermaid and ended at Tarzan. And today I'm going to rank all the movies from the Disney Renaissance from the worst to the best. Coming in at number 10 is The Rescuers Down Under. And this is a movie that has gotten a lot of praise from a lot of people over the last few years. I can see where it comes from a little. I do not feel the same in my opinion. I don't think the plot is as strong. When they focus on adventure and fun, I think the movie does that really, really well, but that's only like 15, maybe 20 minutes of an hour and 15-minute movie. The plot isn't that strong. There seems to be a lot of filler in it. The humor isn't good in my opinion. The characters are not the best. There's a lot of cliches in it, like the guy too nervous to ask his girlfriend to marry him and stuff like that. So, yeah. Just a lot of cliches, not the best Disney movie in my opinion. Coming in at number 9 is Pocahontas. This is a movie that has once again earned a lot of fans over the last few years. I think it's overly hated a little. It has 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it deserves a higher reviews than that. The plot isn't the best, like it doesn't move that much. The songs are usually hit and miss in my opinion. There's just one or two things where it's just like, no, I don't really like it that much. Like, it tells the story of Pocahontas, but they make it fictionalized. So that could probably confuse kids and stuff. And also, it seems like they use a lot of the plot points from Avatar. I know Avatar came out like 10 years after this, but I just feel like Avatar does all this so much better in my opinion. A movie that has earned some fans during the last like few years. And I can see why people like this movie, but I just don't like it as much as them. Coming in at number 8 is Tarzan. This is just a movie that does have a lot of adventure in it. Like, it has Jumanji level adventure in my opinion, so, and that is saying a lot. And it has a decent enough plot and one or two funny moments. But the thing is, there are just some things in it that just really, really hold this movie back for me that make me really, really dislike it. What makes me not like this movie as much is the fact that it seemed like Jane's and Tarzan's relationship seemed kind of rushed during the movie. Like, it seemed like they instantly got along without any reluctancy. But the main thing that held this movie back for me is the fact that they did not have any musical numbers in it. Like, none of the characters were actually singing. And then the one time when they tried to, like, make it seem like a musical, like, where it's kind of like a musical, that was the funnest scene of the movie, and maybe even one of the best scenes in the movie. And I was just like, why couldn't it be more like this? Why couldn't there be more song? Why couldn't there be more characters singing? But instead, usually it's just like songs playing in the background. So that's the main thing that held it back for me, the fact that none of the characters were singing, and that's kind of Disney's trademark. And also, it seemed to be lacking the fun that a lot of Disney movies on this list have. But it's still a movie that I still do see myself coming back to for the adventure. Coming in at number 7 is Hercules. Let me just say first that Tarzan and Hercules were a very, very rough tie for a while. I had a lot of trouble deciding which one I enjoyed more and which one where the pros outweighed the cons. And this, in my opinion, Hercules is technically a better movie. For one, it's actually a musical, and I really, really liked the music in this movie. The humor was hit and miss in my opinion, but the main thing that would have me coming back to this movie is the relationship between Meg and Hercules. Just seeing them together on screen always makes me smile because their chemistry, their conversations, the relationship is just amazing, and like it all sounds so natural, so fun. I just can't help but smile every time they're just talking to each other. And I actually fall into a relationship and constantly want to see them get together, and like the problems that are getting in the way of the relationships are actual problems. The one thing that holds this movie back for me a little bit is the fact that it doesn't have the best of plots, but I can forgive that because it does a lot of other things so well. So maybe not my favorite movie on this list, but still a really, really good movie. Coming in at number 6 is The Little Mermaid. This is a movie that I hadn't seen since I was like 5, and I was kind of reluctant to watch it. I ended up loving it. This is a movie with a lot of amazing music, a decent plot, a lot of good characters, hit and miss humor. I really liked the humor when it hit, and a lot of good character development and everything, and a good villain, and there's so much to love about this movie in my opinion. That is all a good reason to put this movie up high on the list. Like, that is enough of a reason. But the main reason why I put this one up so high is because of what it did to Disney itself. This movie changed Disney forever. We wouldn't have like movies like Frozen and Tangled today if it wasn't for this one movie, because Disney was about to shut down, but then it came out with this and it was successful. So it saved Disney, actually. They also saw that the formula for this movie was such a success, like the music and the princess and stuff was such a success that they are using this formula in movies today, as I said in Frozen and Tangled. So we wouldn't have the movies we had today if it weren't for this one. So, a movie that I can see myself revisiting often, it changed Disney history too. Coming in at number 5 is Aladdin. This is the funniest, funnest, and most rewatchable movie on this list, and maybe even one of the most rewatchable Disney movies, in my opinion. It has, once again, so much to love about it. The humor is usually a hit, in my opinion. The plot could be better, but it's not as good as the other movies I'm going to talk about on this list, but it's still a pretty dang good plot. The music is amazing. The music might be the funnest music on this list. If I just want fun music, then I'll probably just turn this music on. So, to sum it all up, it's a movie that I suggest to everyone with kids, and even if you're a fan of animation and you don't have kids, then I highly suggest you watch this movie. Coming in at number 4 is Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is another one of those movies that has gotten a lot of praise during the last few years, and this is one that I actually agree with. It's probably the most adult Disney films out of all of them. Like, and if you hit pause during some of the scenes and like think about the dialogue a little, like I did, then like you'll notice a lot of dark and adult themes in a G-rated movie that should not be in a G-rated movie. The plot is really good. The best Disney villain of all time. It has so much to love about it. It might be the best written movie on this list. The music is good. I loved the music. But the one thing that holds this movie back for me is the fact that it's a Disney film. I know that's an odd complaint for a Disney list, but since it's a Disney film, they had to find a way to make it for all family members. So they had to give a story that should get like a hard PG-13 or an R rating, a G rating. They're also adding gargoyles in the movie to attract children and make them laugh, but they are not funny in any way, and they do not fit the story, and they make the worst song in the movie. So if you want a Disney movie that is really dark and definitely not for kids, but still a really good movie, then I highly suggest Hunchback of Notre Dame. Coming in at number 3 is Mulan. This is a movie that I really enjoy. It's a movie that I have fun with every time I watch it. The music is a lot of fun and really good. The humor is it's the type of humor that you should have used in a Hunchback, because the humor isn't all that childish, but it's not all that like dark either. It like fits perfectly in the tone of the story. The characters are really likable. The animation is really good. The symbolism in the movie is really good too. There's just so much to love about this movie. But the main reason why I love this movie was because of how it treated feminism. Because in a lot of feminist movies nowadays, it seems like they make the guys idiots and jerks to make the women more powerful and more likable. And like they always say how powerful the woman is. They do none of that in this movie. Like, sure, the guys are jerks in this movie, but they actually seem like legitimate guys, though. They're like 20 years old. Of course, they're going to be a little cocky and a little bit like, I'm tougher than you, I can beat you up and stuff like that, so. But they still do listen to Mulan when the time comes. They still are not 100% stupid. They are still nice people. So and like, and they're still following Mulan. Mulan is still the leader. And her power isn't like totally like overdone, and in my opinion, like in a lot of movies made nowadays. I know this opinion might be a little controversial. Please don't hate me for it. It's just my opinion. So, if you want a movie that does feminism well, explores Chinese culture, and does a lot of other things well, then I highly suggest Mulan. Coming in at number 2 is Beauty and the Beast. This is the only movie on this list might actually be more art than movie, in my opinion. It's just so good. It's how you do a romantic movie well, in my opinion, for somebody that doesn't really like romance movies all that much, unless like they're done really, really well to do something really, really creative. This has made my number 2, and for a lot of movies I've said I've loved and like said so many good things about, this has made my number 2. So it shows that this movie is done really, really well. It's a really creative idea. The music is fun without like ruining the tone of the story in any way. The characters are likable. The plot is good. The threat is amazing. There's just so much to love about this movie. The animation is really, really good. Scenes during the music is really, really well choreographed. I could just keep on going on and on and on why this movie is amazing, but I cannot go on all day. So if you like romantic movies, then and anime movies, then I highly, highly suggest this movie. Coming in at number 1 is The Lion King. This is arguably one of my favorite children's movies of all time. This is like a perfect movie. It has nothing that nobody can hate about it. The characters are likable, fun, and energetic. Their chemistry is good. The plot is good. The humor is good. The fun is good. The villain is really menacing. Like, whoever they casted Scar, they should have brought him back instead of James Earl Jones in the live-action remake, in my opinion, because, in my opinion, it was easily, that guy's performance was easily the best performance in the whole movie. There is just so much to love about this movie. The songs are good, and, like, not all of them are, like, all fun and cheerful. It has probably one of the best villain songs of all time. Has so much to love about this movie. I love this movie. I can just keep on going on and on and on all day and say that all day. But I need to finish this up. I don't want this to be like 20 minutes long. If you like movies that are like nearly perfect and you like Disney, I cannot help but suggest this movie to you in every way. Okay, everyone, that was my ranking of all the movies from the Disney Renaissance. Tell me your ranking down in the comments section. I did edit out a lot of stuff in this video, so if you want to see me talk about any of these movies more, tell me down in the comments section. I'd love to talk about any of these movies more. Have a great week, everybody.